Hi, this is Boris. Welcome to another episode of Sketchman Draw. So every video is someone's first video, so I'm just going to direct you to my website where you'll find most of the content, sketchmanboris.com. You can also check out my Instagram account, sketchman_boris, for general illustrations and illustrations related to tutorials. Comics by Boris is the Instagram account for my comic strips. And of course, Sketchman Draws is my YouTube channel, so please subscribe if you haven't done it yet. And with that said, let's talk about how to draw faces. And so before we get into the details, you just need to know some basics. So first of all, I think if you followed my video on proportions, body proportions, you would have seen that you need to have the ability to sort of sense the symmetry. You can practice that. You can just draw lines and try to find the middle of it and so on. The other one is like you need to be aware of the forms, which means like the 3D forms, otherwise your face will look flat. So you need to be able to draw at least the basic shapes. And of course, combining these basic shapes will create interesting forms, which brings us to planes, the faces. So you need to be aware of that the face is not flat. There are different planes and forms. Okay, so it's a three-dimensional solid object. So here I just took two examples to sort of show you what goes on in my mind when I want to approach and I want to start drawing some subjects, some faces. So I just took these two pictures, and by the way, for all the pictures that I use, I will direct you to my Pinterest page, where I put the link in the description below. Like I created a board called How to Draw References, and I do that and I put all the pictures that I use in that board. Here, so what we will do is I'll show you step by step how I do this, but this is just to show you how I break down a picture. So sort of I'll pay attention to the cranial mass, and then find the landmarks, and sort of once I find from the hairline to the chin, and once I find the chin, I connect it to the circles. Of course, if you look at your head, it's not really circular, it's not a sphere. Your side, if you put your hands on the side of your head, you'll find that it's flat, right? So if you cut off from the ball, if you dissect a ball from the side, like as if you would be cutting like an apple or a tomato, that part that will be exposed will be also circular shape, right? And of course, depending on the angle you look at shapes, they will change the way they look. So of course, a circle, if you look at straight on, it looks like a circle, but if you look at it from a different angle, like for example in this case, it looks like an oval. So you need to keep that in mind too. So yeah, just to show you that how I would approach this, I will create this sort of helmet, of course based on the Loomis method. And here are a few words about the landmark. So I don't know, for some reason I always start with the hairline. I know some people start with the top of the head, but I go there afterwards. So top of the head, the eyebrows, bottom of the nose, and mouth and chin. So here, for example, I just for the woman, the distance between the landmarks are sort of look similar, or located in the same distance from one another. Whereas for the man, I think because he has a bigger nose, like the space between the eyebrows and the bottom of the nose are certainly like a little bit larger than the space between the hairline and the eyebrows, and then the bottom of the nose to the chin. So yeah, just try to picture like the inner structure. And of course, as you get practice and mileage, you'll be able to find little tricks. Like for example, here, if you imagine an invisible glasses for people, if you go from the eye, you'll be able to determine where the ears are located. So you'll be able to know where to place the ears properly. So here I'm going to show you step by step how I'm going to build the basic model, which is the shape inside it. And by the way, I'm going to say that I'm not going to cover in this video how to draw eyes, nose, mouth, and ears. I'm going to do that in another video, which is why I call this video Draw to Draw Faces Part 1. So first we have to think like a sculptor. Let's put a big, like a ball of clay, right? Of course, where we will be able to take off from that piece of clay, of course we have to add on the piece of clay depending on our subject. So and these are of course the second phase, when we are going to add details. But for the moment we just need to pay attention and be aware of the structure, because if that structure is not consistent, your face will look a little bit flat or will look not symmetrical. So here, for example, I just decided, okay, the face, I mean, I'm right-handed, so I don't know, for some reason, if you ask right-handed artists, it's really easy to draw the three-quarter view, especially when the character or the subject is looking on the left-hand side, our left-hand side. So here I just put some basic lines which determine the landmarks. Of course, the space between these landmarks will depend on the subject, like I showed in the previous pictures, and of course the side. I will show you how to cut this, where to find the side of the head. So here I'm just going to write, and again, I apologize for my handwriting. The first one is the hairline, the next one is eyebrows, and of course the bottom of the nose, the mouth, and the chin. So this ball is, we can say that it's the skull, like it sort of exists. It's a little bit abstract, like yes, it does exist in the skull. So so then the skin, the flesh, the skin, and the hair comes on top of it. So that's why, like, the hair will be details that we will add on top. Okay, this is not the actual head. This is just a model that we are using as a basis to keep that solid illusion of the head. Okay. And of course, like I said, this will depend whether you're drawing a woman or a man. Like for example here, this is just a neutral model. This is also useful when you're drawing from imagination, of course. So when you're designing your character, you can do this and draw your character from different angles. So I'm going to just speed up a little bit. So this is me drawing, I think I sped it up to two times. So here, and you'll see I'm going to flip it because I'm a cheater and and I'm drawing digitally, so I'm going to flip it so that I can be more comfortable drawing it. And so I just wanted to show you, like I said, the link to my how to draw references board can be found in the description for my Pinterest board. And most of the faces I've used are from Ahmed Al-Douri's Med 50 Heads, if you're familiar with him. So here we go. So again, what I want you to take away from this video is maybe the different steps, the process, the sort of system that you need to create for yourself to sort of come up with the face that you have in mind. Okay, so when I first started drawing faces, I noticed that sometimes I got the likeness right, sometimes I couldn't, and I really didn't know why. So then when I found the Loomis method, which is the method that I'm using, although I haven't read his books, I learned the Loomis method through other YouTubers. So so here I'm just showing you the point where you can cut, which is like almost like the third quarter of the eyebrow, and you can clearly see in this picture because there is a light change there because the plane changes. So the side of the head is facing away from the forehead, so the light is not falling on that. So here, yeah, I just put, and then I'll once I have that structure, it's easy for me to go in work in the details. So like I said, I'm going to cover eyes, noses, mouths and ears in another video. So for the moment, like I said, I just want you to take away the process, the different steps, how to approach when you draw the faces, which is why I call this video again How to Draw Faces Part 1. And so stay tuned, please subscribe if you haven't, so that you can get the notification when I upload the next videos. So of course, since we are just working with the line art, we don't have, I don't want to get into the coloring yet, but we just have to make do with what we have to sort of depict the picture. And one of the things I still struggle with, maybe because like most male artists, I spend too much time drawing men since I was a kid, so I think I still have trouble drawing women. So for example, you'll see I'll struggle with the chin, because by default, for some reason, I draw really thick, big chins, which make the character look really masculine. But I'm still working on that. And again, this is just one way of drawing faces. So try it, see if it works for you. Try other methods. Try to find out if there are so many resources out there to learn how to draw faces. This is just one way. I'm planning on doing a live session where I'll be drawing the faces live just as a practice. But so you can connect in and ask questions live if you want. So I'm trying to put that together. And of course, this was another video based on my weekly tutorials that I give for free online. Again, the links are for my meetup is on the description below. I live in Bangkok, so I give these online lessons every Sunday at 2 p.m. Bangkok time, Bangkok, Thailand. So here for this sort of subject, I just noticed that he's looking slightly downward and on our left-hand side. So I do the same thing. I just quickly block in the shapes that I want in order for me to, as much reference lines I need in order to move forward to the next step. So for example, here I already start drawing on the neck and the top of the head and so on, because I feel really pretty confident, and especially when the 3/4 view, I've drawn so many characters in 3/4 view, and especially, like I said, most artists who are right-handed are really comfortable with 3/4 view for some reason. So yeah, so again, hope you liked this video, and as I said, this is just part 1. I'll go into more detail, and please leave in the comment section below if you want me to cover any specific thing about the face. Once again, thank you for watching. If you like this kind of video, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. Of course, if you have time, please join my meetup. And please go check out my Pinterest board for how to draw references, which are the pictures I use in these videos. And other than that, this is Boris for Sketchman Draws signing off.